This is the Modern Travel Agent Podcast. My name is Chris Daner. On this week's episode, I sit down with Erika Almaraz, who's the Regional Senior Weddings Manager for Palladium Hotel Group in America. Erika has 15 years of experience in the destination wedding industry, working in places like Mexico, Jamaica, and the Dominican Republic. She has a hotel management degree and is a true believer in Simon Sinek's theory of starting with why. She's applied this theory in her practice to build wedding teams and convert clients into Palladium fans. If you're interested in building and leading teams or marketing and selling destination weddings, then this is the perfect episode for you.
Welcome aboard. Please take your seat and fasten your seatbelt. The Modern Travel Agent Podcast starts now.
This episode is brought to you by Palladium Hotel Group. If you're trying to find a luxury upscale hotel perfect for a romantic getaway, the TRS Cap Cana is the perfect choice. It's located in the heart of Cap Cana, which is an exclusive zone on the east coast of the Dominican Republic with amazing food and drink, turquoise waters, breathtaking wedding scenes. This is truly an adult-only sanctuary. And if you book your wedding at the TRS Cap Cana by January 31st, you'll get a 25% discount on any wedding collection. Without further delay, this is Erika Almaraz, a Regional Senior Weddings Manager for Palladium Hotel Group. Erika, thank you so much for joining me on the Modern Travel Agent Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be here. I've been listening to all your podcasts, and I think you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Being that you've seen the episodes, you kind of know the first thing that we always like to do is kind of start off with your story, right? Talking a little bit about your background, how you got into the industry, and then how that kind of led you up to today.
Well, I started 15 years ago at Palladium. And the reason why I chose Palladium to work or to start working was because they were giving me the chance to train in other areas while I was working at the front desk. You know, when you are just out of college or university, you just need to practice first or get experience in order to start growing, especially in the hotel business. That's how it used to work, no? So I decided to take the job as a front desk agent, and then I start practicing. When I request a training at the groups and sales department because I wanted to do groups and incentives. But they told me that it was not available at the moment, but they had a position at the weddings department. And I was like, well, let's try that. And I did try the training at the weddings department, and I loved it with all my heart. So training lasts normally 3 months, and they asked me to stay a bit longer because they really needed help, and I was helpful at the moment. And then they just opened like a position for me to start working at the weddings department. So I left the front office, which I'm really thankful that I had the chance to start there, because after, when I was at the weddings department, I knew how the hotel actually works from the start till the end, of the stay. Because when you're at college or the university, they can tell you the theory, but until you actually experience a check-in, a complaint, you never realize it. And I'm really thankful for that opportunity. So I started at the weddings department as a wedding coordinator. It was great. We had like a lot of weddings at the hotel. Then I became the wedding assistant manager at the weddings department. This is in Riviera Maya, the hotel we have in Riviera, Grand Palladium Riviera Maya. And then, I don't know, it was like 5 years working really hard, and we have like a lot of weddings, and I just decided that I needed a break. So I left Palladium and I moved back. I moved to Cancun, and I was working for a family. It was kind of like managing their house. It's a wealthy family. I was managing their house and I was working as a personal assistant. But they knew that I was a wedding planner before. And the daughter of my boss daughter decided to get married. And they asked me if I could help. And I was like, okay, yes, I will help. So, of course, the wedding was managed by an important event company, but I was planning just small details or helping the bride with small details. It was a huge production, huge, at the Aqua in Cancun. Mm-hmm. So when I was at the wedding, big wedding, big budget, and I saw everything, I was like, I think I was born to do this, like to be in the industry. I love this. I can feel the blood running in my veins. Like, it's just like an instinct. And I was so lucky because a couple weeks after that, they called me from Grand Palladium, Jamaica. They needed a weddings manager there. And I said, yes. I was kind of ready to go back to the weddings. And I moved to Jamaica. I was planning to stay there for 2 years, just go there, find someone who can lead the department and leave and come back to Mexico. But I stayed for 5 years.
that is how that works sometimes,
Yes,
that is how that works.
It does. And it was an amazing experience because I think I grew so much as a person and as a professional. Jamaica is one of the top #1 destinations for destination weddings, actually. We do a lot of weddings in Jamaica. And I had the opportunity to actually build the weddings program there and the weddings department and the team. And I'm really proud of that because we were at the point when I got there, like, it was really bad. There was no leadership. There was no teamwork. And they gave me the opportunity to actually build something. And that's super rewarding. So, of course, I love Jamaica with all my heart. But it was time to come back to Mexico. I just needed a change. And they offered me coming back with the company as a sales manager. So I was starting to help the regional director, the wedding regional director, with the sales and marketing. And then they promote me to regional wedding senior manager, which I am actually doing that. So I manage all the departments in America, but only on the sales and marketing aspect. And that's great because, of course, I started as a wedding planner, but sales and marketing is like another world. And in the weddings industry, it's so important to have, nowadays especially, a good sales team and, of course, good marketing, especially for your hotels. So I'm learning a lot because, of course, I'm not trained in marketing. So I'm learning a lot. And I am so grateful for Palladium because they have always trusted that I can do something and I can learn and I can grow and I can make the teams grow. And I think that's the reason why I have been with the company for so many years, because they just believe in you and they let you lead, of course, with direction, but it's just a great company where you can just grow and do something. Mm-hmm. Inspire people.
I mean, that is phenomenal when you have an organization that empowers you to take on new challenges, because of course, some people's personality, they get that energy from taking on new challenges, right? And building things and basically starting at the bottom of the mountain again, and kind of starting over. So that's phenomenal that Palladium has enabled you to do that. You mentioned earlier, as far as some of the challenges that you faced stepping into this situation in Jamaica, that experience of trying to take a situation where there wasn't really as much teamwork, or like the healthy, let's say, company culture where everybody works together, maybe not the perfect plans. What was your biggest lesson from that process? Because of course, for agents and agencies, company culture and building a team of teamwork is like one of the most fundamental things. What was your biggest takeaway being there and kind of seeing that situation and building it up?
Well, I think it was that you needed to teach people, or not teach, just show that what they are doing matters. Like the impact of their daily duties and tasks is not only answering emails or hanging a flower. It has a major impact. And I believe that they were not conscious of what they can do just by doing these small things every single day. And in a certain way, it's just showing them to love and respect their job, and teaching them techniques that they can use in order to improve the customer service, or to know their type of clients, to deal with difficult situations. Confrontation was a problem. And when you do not want to talk with your client to solve an issue, the issue comes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So just the small things that they can do every single day to improve their customer service and their sales. Of course, I was not an expert in sales, but I have been studying, I've been reading books, and that's something that I just share with the team. And I started to share with the team. And working side by side, I think was the most important thing I did. Because before, I don't know the concept they have in Jamaica or in some parts of the world of a manager. Like, you will be in the office and maybe not dealing with certain things, no? It's just, you have to be there for them. You have to be there for your team. You have to go to the weddings. You have to see what is happening in the field. You cannot just stay in the office. Of course, you have to do office work, but it's important that your team feels that support.
Yeah, that is a great point. You know, the manager is the person who's sort of in the trenches with them, right? Getting the hands dirty and seeing sort of the nitty gritty of all the details, because that, of course, not just from the angle of them feeling like you're in it together, right? That it is an actual team, but also because you can be high direction when you're seeing these things with your own hands, right? It's not this loose concept of customer service, whatever that is. It's doing this thing because it's important for this reason. So that is a great takeaway. You know, I just had a call last evening with our IC team. And I think one of the biggest things that they're all kind of working with in different ways is, you know, how do you basically get the phone to ring, right? The marketing aspect of building clients and getting in front of them. And it seems like there's never been more ways to do that. But just in your experience on the destination wedding side of things, what do you think agents can do to better sell or market destination weddings to their clients?
Well, honestly, I think social media is the best tool they can use nowadays, because your clients can make marketing for you. And that's priceless.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are having a couple at a destination, maybe they can use a hashtag, they can tag you, or you can come to the wedding just in like an investment for your own company, no? As well, when you are doing fam trips, like take advantage of all the fam trips, the tourist boards, they plan many fam trips. I know we work a lot with the Jamaican Tourist Board and the Dominican Republic Tourist Board. They are fantastic at bringing travel agents to visit the hotels. And not only the same hotels, because, you know, there are the same brands, no, the most known brands. But there are other hotels that they need to be seen as well. So if you're at the destination, try to see something that is not in the in the itinerary, or make a research before coming to the destination. And another thing that I will suggest is that they actually know their wedding planners. If you are traveling to a destination, make a little bit of networking, like go visit the weddings department. Sometimes they are really busy, but take the time. Maybe if you can call before arriving to the destination, they will be super happy to meet you, especially the salespeople. And they can even do a tour of the hotel, and you create like a bond with them. I have a couple of agents who do that, and when they travel to the destination, they go to the weddings department, they meet the wedding planner of the wedding they are planning in May. And in a certain way, you create like a connection there. And we know that Cynthia is the one dealing with this wedding, and I have met her and she's lovely. And I will do this because now we are friends. We have a connection. And connections are super important when you're selling. Actually, it's like breaking the ice, the first rule.
It really is. This industry is all about relationships. Just the way that it works is there's so many different times in the process where you're handing it off to somebody else or to another team to make sure that your shared clients have this great experience. So, having that relationship is a crucial part for agents, let's say, that maybe don't have that relationship initially. What is the best step that they can go to get, let's say, the contact information for the weddings department? Like, how would you recommend that they reach out? Let's say they're going to be visiting in March and they want to make sure they have time to visit the wedding staff. What process do they take to kind of set that up?
Well, I mean, each hotel works differently, but in our case, we divide the sales from the operational side. So most of the time, our sales team, they are the ones dealing with the site inspections and meeting like new clients and everything. And they can always make an appointment in advance for them to visit the hotel and make sure that they will have availability. In the case that they are already planning the wedding with a wedding coordinator, they can always contact the wedding coordinator and make sure that she will be available that day. I mean, as I said, they have weddings to plan and they have weddings to execute. But if for any reason they are not available during that time, maybe one of our sales team members can do the meeting. But ideally, we'll be the person in charge of the wedding.
Got it. Yeah, that's great. So you kind of covered this a little bit with discussing the importance of sort of building relationships, but with especially destination weddings, it's such a collaborative effort to make sure that everything goes smoothly. There's so many details. A lot of agents, whether they specialize in destination weddings or they're new to it, they're not always sure maybe of how they can be a good partner to, like in your case, like Palladium, the wedding team. Like what types of things? I know you talk about, building a relationship. Is there anything else that kind of jumps out to you that is something that agents can do to be better partners on the destination wedding side?
Well, I mean, as I said, each hotel is different, but I think it will be interesting if in a certain way they learn how the process is during the planning and how the hotel works in certain things like sending rooming lists to make sure that assignment will be perfect, no? Or, I don't know, in terms of food, if there's any program for food allergies, like knowing a little bit more of how the hotel works, not only in the wedding aspect. Because in the end, it's not only people coming to the wedding, it's people staying at the hotel the whole week, no? Or 5 days. So it is important to know how the hotel works. And I don't think it's crazy for them to ask the wedding planner, like, hey, can we have a call and you can just ask a couple questions, no?
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, asking questions is the best thing you can do. Like, if you don't know how the check-in will work? Because, I mean, as per the contract, it says it's going to be private, but is it?
Mm-hmm.
Really? How does it work? Where is the private check-in? I mean, your clients will ask those questions as well, like, where do I go when I do the check-in? They will be waiting, somebody will waiting for me, knowing a little bit better of how the process will be. So you can actually tell your clients how is it going to be.
Yeah.
That would be a suggestion.
No, that's great. That's great advice. And I like too that you, it's actionable, right? It's not like it requires this big thing. It's literally just reaching out to the person you're partnering with on the wedding as a wedding planner and saying, hey, just can I pick your brain? I want to make sure I understand what this process looks like so that I can take care of everything I need to take care of on my end, basically. So that.
And don't be afraid of the phone or the Zoom or with all the tools we have now to do like a call, it's crazy that you don't call your wedding planner at least once during the planning, like to meet her, to ask her all the questions. So I think connections and calls are the best thing you can do to help your clients and to improve your sales.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because, what I've noticed is that there's sort of these two things happening at the same time. With our clients, we're finding more and more clients are wanting text. Like we started making that part of our process. They love it. They love the sort of at your fingertips. And so there's this easy way to do it, but that can't always be a substitute for hearing somebody's voice, right? And a real time communication. It's just, you can cover more in the amount of time. It's less, opportunity for confusion or misunderstanding. It builds relationships. I'm a big believer in getting on the phone. And I remember when I was doing leisure, especially, I would not work until I had a phone call consultation with the client, because my thought is, look, if they can't take 5 or 10 minutes to devote for a phone call, then they're not that serious about taking a trip, right? It's such a small obligation, but it makes such a difference in establishing the relationship and making sure that you fully understand what they want and what everybody what the roles are and the responsibilities. So I think that's a great advice. Just get on the phone. Just talk to your partners.
And it's part of the discovery process. How will you know what your client wants if you don't call him or talk to him, or you don't even know him? No, I know it's hard sometimes to meet with someone who lives, I don't know, in Canada or in Europe. But with the technology that we have nowadays, that's possible, and we should take advantage of those tools. And I know some of the hotels are kind of like afraid of doing Zooms instead of emails, and that. But you can always support information with emails, and you can even tape, like record the call, so you don't have to say like, "Hey, you didn't tell me that." No, yes, it's recorded.
Right. And
watch that.
Yeah, the good old CYA. I remember that was a big process for, like, it was always part of my process that after I had a conversation with the client, I would immediately send them an email that recapped the big points, right? Because you can't always remember every conversation that you had. You can't always remember all the details that are covered, but that gives you that, and of course you can keep your own notes and you can do that, but that gives you sort of this shared itinerary of discussion, the things that you covered, the big takeaways. So yeah, I do think that there's a million ways to do it right and to sort of leverage the technology that we have available. I'm in a lot of Facebook groups for travel agents, and yeah, it's wild. There's a lot of great information. But there's also a lot of, it can be stressful, and I think sometimes people want to vent and they want to get it out. And a lot of times it's like, I just think, I'm like, the solution is pick up your phone. It's almost always pick up your phone. That's it. Talk to the client, communicate with them, talk to your partner at the hotel, talk to them. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I think that is often overlooked.
And it's not only in our industry. Even with your husband, like if you want to fix a problem, just call him, talk to him. Like it's something natural.
Yeah. You're telling me that I can't ignore it and complain to a third party and it's not going to get fixed. Wild.
Of course, you can bed with someone else, so you can just relax and then talk to your husband.
Yeah, that's.
But I mean, a good solution is that agents, they can call the wedding planner and maybe keep them in the loop, because sometimes we have special clients that needed more attention. And if they know that and they share that with us, we will be taking care of that.
Mm-hmm.
And we will be maybe make team efforts, so we can make this wedding happening, and so the couple can be a little bit less stressed during the process.
Yeah, I mean, that's another good point, because not every client is the same. I know we have a process with our team where, you can just tell kind of early on in the process that some are more laid back and kind of whatever, and some are more type A, and they have a high attention to detail and they want to be involved in everything. And so we always make sure that we have shared notes with our team that make sure that every agent that's touching a reservation or working with the guest is familiar with sort of the intricate situation with that wedding couple and how they are, so that we can make sure, as you said, it's like you get ahead of it before it becomes an issue. You already know the expectation of this client, the personality, what they want, so that you can give them that extra attention. So I think that's another good point too, is to make sure to share that information with the on-site team so that y'all know, okay, this is kind of what we need to pay attention to with this client.
Exactly. It's just maybe some of the brides, they are more into the music or more into the flowers. It will be great just to focus in whatever they actually want instead of pushing other things, no?
Mm-hmm.
That's as well great for upselling.
Right. True. What would you say are some of the big destination wedding trends that you've seen kind of coming up recently?
Well, I think the biggest thing now, and you can see like all over Instagram, is floral arrangements, like big gypsophilia arrangements, like a lot of white. I think that's the biggest trend. Like, I don't know if it's, pretty sure it is, because you need to have like a distance. So having these floral arrangements, it makes distance between the chairs and the aisle where the bride is walking down. But I mean, there are a lot of flower designers creating beautiful things just to decorate the aisle. And I think that's pretty much on trend. You won't see that during these months, but probably for 2022, you will start seeing weddings with those kind of flowers. Right now, I think the boho chic is like the thing. It has been here for 3 years, stock, dry flowers. I mean, personally, I'm not a huge fan of dry flowers and boho chic, but I understand why people actually like it. I'm more into like bright flowers. Mm-hmm. But, it's trends. And if the brides, they want those kind of things or those kind of decors, we have the flower providers and suppliers who can bring their dreams come true. Another trend that we noticed, I think we noticed that already in 2019 on the on the way to the lockdown, was that a lot of couples were not going to be able to travel to do a destination wedding or to have their honeymoon. So right now, we're receiving a lot of requests for romantic experiences, proposals, like honeymoon packages, but not the regular honeymoon packages. They want to go like big, and they are willing to spend a little bit more, like having a great experience. I don't know, like a dinner at the beach, or a different cultural experience, like, I don't know, blessing at the cenote, because they couldn't do their destination wedding of their dreams. But now they are just traveling to the destination and incorporating something to the experience. So that's very trending. So you have both trends, like the big wedding, but not super huge weddings. We are not having like huge groups. I think the number is between 50 and 80 average. And I noticed that they are more into details, like they are buying more decor. I think people had a lot of time to save money for the wedding. So now they are investing a little bit more, which is great because their photos will look amazing and they can share them on Instagram. And on the other hand, you have just the couple who wants to celebrate their love and travel to the destination. So I always say that there's no big or small wedding that you can do as a wedding, and all the clients deserve to have the best. So if it's a small wedding, well, maybe one of the cousins or the grandparents will renew their vows the following year. You never know. So you have to focus on customer service and make sure their dreams are accomplished. And I think those are the trends right now. I don't think color schemes are a thing now. I mean, it used to be like, for this year was yellow. I don't see any yellow, but a lot of white is coming.
A huge percentage of our destination wedding business is referral. Like a lot of times it's somebody will come as a guest and then they see that and then they do it. So I think that mentality of, however small, whatever it is, it's a marketing opportunity for everybody involved, because when you it's one thing to have an idea of a destination wedding, but when you attend it and you see it and you see the value, not just of course, the beautiful event and the destination, not just of the night before, but having all of that time with friends and family, assuming you like your friends and family, that you get to spend, a week with them and you get to hang out and have it's just this great opportunity to have these phenomenal memories with the people that matter to you. And I think that I think maybe people are a little bit more aware of some of that now after what happened the past couple of years, this sort of, there's this appreciation, I think, for that side of things, right?
Yeah, share memories. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that matters. And that's something I think the pandemic or the lockdown left in all of us, like spend time with your family, with your loved ones. And I noticed it even with my brother, he got married like last weekend. We couldn't make the wedding because of the COVID. He got COVID 2 weeks before the wedding.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And then my parents, and then we had to postpone the wedding. So wedding happened last weekend and it was great because all the people was so excited to be there. Even though we asked them to get the test before coming to the wedding, everybody had to show that they were not infected with COVID. That's something that is very trendy now. Another thing, if you really want to make a big event and make sure that nobody will be infected, it's good to have like a test before. Well, I was saying that I noticed that people was a lot more into having fun at the wedding, like dancing and drinking and giving it all. Like even the wedding planner asked me, like, Jesus Christ, I never seen like a wedding, like people drinking that much and dancing that much, because they were not like super drunk, even though they were drinking a lot, Mm-hmm. Because they were dancing all the time. So I think it's kind of where the trend goes. Like people is more into enjoying the present.
There's no doubt. I know that. Even on my own level, I think that when you have time to just be in your own thoughts, especially in a lockdown scenario, everybody sort of experienced that in a different way. But there is this appreciation. It's easy to kind of overlook something when you have it. And then when something's kind of taken away, all of a sudden it's like, wow, like, I kind of do miss my friends. I kind of do miss you, and I know when I attended, the Ascend conference just recently, you could just feel this like buzz, this energy of just people were so grateful to be around other people and to be experiencing this. So, and also right now too, it's like engagement season. There's like, it's that time of the year. There's a lot of people doing it. So it does look like it's going to be a busy 2022 for sure.
2023, because
yeah, that's that too. Yeah.
I mean,
that's true.
2022 agendas are pretty much over.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, and I mean, I think not when, especially in our industry, we really notice that we should be more grateful, not only with our clients, but with the travel agents. I mean, they have been very, very supportive with all the hotels. Even now, now that they are traveling, a lot of hotels are suffering because we don't have enough staff. There's a shortage of staff, and they are trying to make the clients understand like the whole situation, because it's what COVID left.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's still here, no, but this what we're suffering, and they have been great at understanding and helping. And I think something that we learn is that we are a very strong industry if we stick together. We have to support each other.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it would have been a mess. And what I loved during the lockdown is that a lot of agents were willing to learn a lot more. They were doing a lot of webinars, joining like virtual parties. They really wanted to stay connected because that's the only way to keep up. Because we knew this was going to open someday. Mm-hmm. And the day came, and now we have to deliver. And that's the lesson. I mean, stick together and we will be stronger.
Yeah, it is. It is such a fundamental part. And to kind of talk about, you mentioned like webinars and staying knowledgeable for agents that maybe aren't as familiar with Palladium's offerings on weddings and even the hotel side of things. What would you recommend that they do, is like as far as a resource that they can make sure that they educate themselves on the destination wedding size of what Palladium offers, and all the intricate kind of details, because there's a lot.
Of course. Well, we have our platform, Palladium Connect, for travel agents, where they can always join and watch all the e-learnings that we have. We have videos. The wedding video, we are updating that, but they can check what is going on at the different hotels. And if they even want to learn anything, they can always contact the weddings department and we can make a presentation. I mean, if you are an agency and you have a few of agents that are focused on destination weddings, we can always make a presentation for them. That's part of my duties. I'm the one who spread the word out there. And I'm always willing to show my weddings presentation. Actually, that's something that I really enjoy, talking about Palladium and talking about the weddings program and inspiring agents to sell more of what Palladium has to offer, because we have it all.
What are some of the kind of new exciting things, or the things that y'all have been working on the wedding side of things?
Well, I have something very important to announce.
Okay.
And we noticed that a lot of agents, that they struggle by getting availability. Why? Because they have to contact the hotel and wait for some of the coordinators or sales specialists to answer if the date was available or not. Well, now we have our calendars online. If you visit palladiumweddings.com, you can just click on Start Planning, and it will redirect you to the e-calendar, where you can actually check availability only for symbolic ceremonies, because, for Catholic and legal ceremonies, we have to check back with the justice of the peace and the priest. But at least you will know the date is available and the time is available. And if for any reason the priest or the justice of the peace is not available, you will have a time or another day. Or for the travel agents, they need to know the information like right away. You're in a wedding expo and you are about to make a sale. You can just go on Weddings by Palladium, go on the calendar and check availability.
That's phenomenal.
And even request it from there. and make a payment, like a deposit.
That is phenomenal. Because I know too, it's like, we're big on like, how do you make things more efficient, right? How do you basically eliminate especially with COVID too, it's like you dealt with these issues with staffing, right? You had to kind of get down and you're trying to figure it out. And one of the best ways, of course, is a lot of businesses realize that they need to kind of automate the process and empower agents and empower members to kind of do that. So I love that y'all did that, because we love, like as an agent, we love anytime that we can do something without having to bother our partners or add something to their plate. Like we love that, because that just makes the process easier for us and because we're not sending emails asking all these questions and doing this. There's no this back and forth. There's a million things to cover. So that's fun. That's a phenomenal tool.
No, yeah. And actually it was, if you look at the whole planning process of a wedding, it's one of the most important things, and it's one of the things that will make the client say yes or no according to who's coming faster than me. No, I mean, if you send a request to how many hotels and 3 of them answered that fast, but what if you already have the answer at the top of your finger?
Yeah,
like, it's just, you want to sell more, help them to sell more.
Right.
That's what we think.
It also makes it easy to secure those, because, I always laugh about this, but, you have to have the catchy date, the 2/22/22, all that business.
Yeah,
so
those are covered already.
Yeah, it makes it easy to
superstitious people.
Makes it easy. So cool. So, okay, then, so, agents are able to kind of check availability and to handle that. They can learn, online as far as the kind of product offerings, either by going to Palladium Connect or by reaching out to the wedding team, right? To kind of have presentations to become more knowledgeable on the product side of things. Is there anything else that you think agents should be doing to learn about Palladium or to know about kind of upcoming changes or new offerings or anything like that?
Well, they can visit the hotel, of course.
Right.
Come to Mexico, come to Jamaica, come to Dominican Republic. You are so welcome. And we will be happy to have them there and actually experience what Palladium has to offer. There is nothing better than that. And even when you are at the hotel, I mean, you can make use of your social media and make videos, TikToks, to show your clients how much fun you're having at the destination and how the hotel actually looks from your side or your point of view. No, I know you at Modern Day you do that.
Yeah, we're big believers in that.
You have so much fun when you're traveling, but I mean that's the thing. If you believe in something and you share that, they will come. They will believe that you're having fun and you will be selling more.
Yeah, we've found too, it's like we're to a point where one of the stipulations that we want to have in place for new hires as we continue to scale is have them requirement to be able to travel in the first, whether it's 6 weeks, 8, whatever it is, because there's just such a difference in the ability and the confidence to sell when you've seen something with your own eyes and you've interacted, when you've built the relationships in person with the on-site wedding teams, with the sales staff. It makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah. And not only the hotels, the destination, like what's going on at the airport, who's picking you up, how difficult it is to find like a taxi or a bus or anything. I mean, it's something you have to experience. Nobody's going to tell you. But maybe sometimes if you go to forums or to these Facebook groups, they share a lot of information, but nothing like experience it by yourself. Right.
Yeah, that is a huge part of it.
So travel.
Right. Yeah. I'm installed. you don't have to twist my arm. That's easy. Easy. Erika, thank you so much. I appreciate you, coming on and spending this time with me. I think we've covered a lot of great things. I love, you sharing the information on where agents can check the wedding dates. I think that's a great tool. Is there anything else, any promotions or offers that you'd like to cover before I let you go?
Of course. I will not miss this opportunity. Well, I'm not quite sure if you know, but we have a small, beautiful boutique hotel. It's TRS Cap Cana in Dominican Republic. It's in the most exclusive area, Cap Cana. And we're trying to push this hotel for weddings. We were not offering this hotel for weddings before. Now we're offering. And since we are promoting TRS Cap Cana, we are offering a 30% discount on our wedding collections for anyone who wants to get married at that location. I mean, it's completely worth it. You have the most amazing views from the hotel to the marina and to the actually ocean, because we have a pier. It's very, very long, and you can get married at the end of the pier. So you have a 360 great view of the whole ocean, which is it's great. And I mean, the area is just exclusive, beautiful, luxury. And Dominican Republic is amazing. I mean, they are so welcoming. The food is great. And at TRS, it's a guarantee that you will have the best service. So take advantage of the promotion and travel to Dominican Republic.
Absolutely. Yeah, we had the opportunities went to the Dominican Republic for my first time earlier this year, had the opportunity to see the TRS Cap Cana. It is a beautiful property. I love that they have the gated community. It's like you go through, it's just a beautiful area. The location on the marina, you can see the boats coming by. That was a really unique thing. I have this video, I'll share it too, from a wedding setup during sunset. It was gorgeous. So we love TRS and Palladium. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate your time and sharing all your knowledge. And I'm going to go ahead and include all of your contact information and stuff for agents in case they want to reach out and learn more about Palladium. I'll also include the links to all the relevant, you said, what's the name is, to check the wedding availability. What's the name of it?
PalladiumWeddings.com.
PalladiumWeddings.com. Perfect. I will include those links. Thank you again, Erika.
Perfect.
Appreciate you.
No, thank you so much for having me. And it was a pleasure talking to you, and of course with your audience. I'm pretty sure travel agents will learn a little bit more about how to deal with wedding planners at the hotels. And well, just for those who are listening, thank you so much for your support during this time. We at Palladium, we appreciate you a lot. So thank you.